So of course we have lightning bending, we have the fire dragon dance situation, but there are other more subtle styles of firebending that have now been revealed from Shadow of Kyoshi. Hey everyone, welcome to the Geek Talk. Today let's discuss the lost art of firebending as shown in the Shadow of Kyoshi. Of course, this is a Monday member's choice. If you too want to choose what videos I do on Mondays, you can go ahead and click the join button below next to the subscribe button or in the description box for YouTube memberships. The first blast of heat made Kyoshi think they'd broken the festival's prohibitions, but then she remembered skilled firebenders could do extreme damage from the concussive force of their bending alone. Each time Rangi and Ko-Lin rammed a knee into the other's ribs or aimed an elbow at their opponent's temple, they let out a shockwave that rattled Kyoshi's teeth. They absorbed each other's blows with their shins and forearms, their skin reddening from towing the line of open flame. So of course, just to give context to the scene, if you haven't read the books, by the way, you should read the books, and this is something you should not be watching. If you haven't read the books, I mean, granted, it's a small detail, it's not a huge spoiler, but right now in the story in the Fire Nation, there is a festival called Festival Zito, and during this time, all Agni Kais are disbanded, which means basically no firebending is allowed, at least a firebending in terms of, fighting each other. However, this leaves people to have really pent up energy, and Agni Kai is a way for firebenders to vent, especially when in their culture they're very insular about their emotions and they kind of let that all out within Agni Kai. But since this whole festival is going on and there is this big brewing conflict between these two clans, they can't do this. So when we have these fight scenes between them of them trying to suppress their fire, they're still using it in a way by actually boiling, kind of not boiling their hands, but heating up their hands and their feet and their knees so that when they are, doing their martial arts, just regular martial arts without firebending and fighting each other, they're basically creating fire fists and fire elbows, or heated fists and heated elbows when they're fighting each other, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I was wondering why this art form kind of got lost. I mean, obviously the reason could be because firebending is just simply better, but what about those situations like, for instance, when Zuko was fighting during the Zuko Alone episode, when he's fighting those earthbenders? He could have easily slipped in some, fire fists in there if he was going hand in hand with them, and it would have been a cool ability to see within the series. So why did it die? I can't really, outside of what I said before of just the ability being, firebending itself being better than just, heating up your fist, it would have been cool to see this develop a little bit more, especially if maybe firebending, if you're really close to somebody, you can't really do a full fire plume. It could have been cool to see the implementation of this kind of style of fighting, which seems to only come about because of the suppression of firebending rather than it just being its own separate discipline. But the fact that Kyoshi says that she forgot that firebenders can do this makes me think it's something that has been seen from firebenders, but we just haven't seen it in any of the series, whether we're talking about Airbender or Legend of Korra. For example, when we see Azula take on Zuko for the first time and they're going hand in hand, it would have been dope if maybe there was a sequence where she grabbed his hand and it heated, and kind of like what we saw with Iroh. Iroh kind of did that in book 2 when he got captured by the Earthbenders. No, book 1. Book 1? Did he get captured? Yeah, by book 1 when he got captured by the Earthbenders. And he heated up his chains so that, it would burn them. I would like to see more of that in firebending, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And it seems like it's kind of a lost form of firebending that could be used a lot more often, especially in close quarters. But I want to hear what you guys think about this idea of this possible lost form of firebending that is just really about heating up your limbs rather than outwardly using firebending. Let me know in the comments below, or if you want to watch more of my videos, you can check them out right here next to my head. I'll see you guys on the next one, and of course, peace, love, and remember, be water, my friends.